This section is going to be about finding the area of a triangle. And of course, what you're accustomed to is using the formula of 1/2 base times height, but there are other formulas that you can use to get the area of a triangle based on knowing some of the measurements of the angles. Now, with these formulas, like for instance, this first set, these three formulas, you would pick one of these anytime that you have a side angle side situation. These three formulas over here work anytime you have angle angle side or angle side angle. And then down here you have side side side. Now the thing about these formulas for side side side, you actually have to use both of these. Like in this case, you'll just pick one of these. In this case, you'll just pick one of these. But here you have to use both, because if you'll notice in this formula you have a little s, so you have to use this formula to find little s just to plug it in here. Now another thing about these formulas is they all have a capital S equals instead of, like a capital A that you're used to with area, but that's because within your formulas you're already using a capital A, which represents an angle, so that's why they can't use the same letter to represent area, so they're using a capital S to represent area. That's the purpose of that. All right, so using these formulas, now if you want to sketch off the picture and label it, you can, but again, these are actually ones that you can work pretty easily without having to do the picture. And you really don't even have to know like whether this is a side angle side or angle angle side or angle side angle or side side side. The fact that you know two sides and one angle, the only option that could be would be this one right here. Because both of these, if you use any of these formulas, it has to be one of these two situations where you have two angles given, you only have one angle, so you have to pick one of these. Now it'll be the middle one that you're going to use because it is side A and side B that you know, and you know angle C. So you're just going to substitute these numbers into this formula. I mean, this is just a straight plug it into the formula. So we have S is equal to 1/2 times 10 times 12 times sine of 120. And then, like I said, just enter this into your calculator. That's going to come out to be, well, you'll have to round up to even your whole number on this one instead of, so your one decimal place would actually just end up being a 0. Of course, you're finding area, so that means this would be centimeters squared. Okay, next one. Again, if you look at your formulas, see this time you know two angles. So that's going to have to be one of these two situations, but you don't even have to bother figuring out is it this one or this one, because both of these use the same set of formulas. Now, one thing about using these formulas though, you do have to know all three angles, okay? But if you know two angles, then all you've got to do is just use subtraction to get the third one. So let's do that first. So you need angle A, so 180 minus the 57 minus the 31, so that's going to end up giving us 92. Okay, now the formula that you would use would actually be the first one because it is side A, so this first one that I have right here will be the one that I'm going to follow. Okay, so that's going to be 7.3 squared times sine of 57 degrees times sine of 31 degrees divided by 2 times sine of 92 degrees. Now, entering this one in your calculator, you do need to make sure that you put some extra sets of parentheses. So you need to start off by opening a set of parentheses. Of course, enter in your numerator, close parentheses, divided by, and you also need to put a set around the bottom, okay? So make sure you remember to use or put in those extra parentheses. This is going to come out to be about 11.5, and that would be meters squared. All right, third one. Now, the situation I have here is easy to identify because it's all three lowercase letters, so this is your side, side, side. Now, this is where I said that you have to use both formulas. You're actually going to use this one first. This is a little s, lowercase s, so you have to use this formula, get this value, because then you have to use the little s in each of those spots. So that would be 1/2 times 48 plus 75 plus 63, and that's going to come out to be 93. So now you go to the formula that was the big square root formula, and it starts off with little s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c. And you can enter this in your calculator all in one step, and your answer for that one, this would be your approximation, and again that would be in square units. Okay, so just make sure that you can enter that in your calculator without any trouble and get the same answer that I have here.